individuals to have meaningful, positive impact in this community. For more information about the show, log into irlonestar.com/TBPTX.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Hello, everyone. I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News, and this is live streaming irlonestar.com, FM 104.5, 106.1, Facebook Live, Conroe Culture News, and YouTube Live. So we are here broadcasting from downtown Conroe in Conroe City Hall. Today, joining me will be Commissioner Charlie Riley, Precinct 2, with updates of the future, what has completed in 2022, and maybe there's a few surprises, maybe a few laughs. I'm hoping so. And he is joined by his Chief of Staff, Bruce Berger, and Silvio, Lieutenant over Commercial Vehicle Enforcement. So, the show is sponsored by Roger Stein Chiropractic and the Lake Conroe Realty Group. Roger Stein Chiropractics have been serving the community for many years. They are located at 3033 West Davis by Conroe High School and Taco Bell. They treat patients of all ages and backgrounds, from infants to seniors, weekend athletes to professionals, with a focus on natural, holistic healing, not only to relieve pain, but achieve optimal health. Dr. Stacy Rogers holds certifications in adjusting extremities, arm, legs, hands, feet, nutrition, and prenatal pediatric care. If you are not a patient, it's just $30 to go and see her or with one of her other 3 physicians there at the clinic, and all of it, 100% gets donated to CASA, Kids in CPS Custody. That is Roger Stein Chiropractic, 3033 West Davis. The Lake Conroe Group serves the greater Montgomery County as the best source for buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Talk to Vinny Sinisi because it's an easy name to remember. So what's happening? Well, we are approaching February, and in February we could have any kind of weather, and of course right now today it's a little chilly. Who knows what it'll be at the rest of the week, but there's some things going on. This is the last weekend for Calendar Girls at the Owen Theater, and it's a wonderful comedy of mature women who raise funds for to get a chair for a deceased husband of one of the women by posing nude for a calendar. And actually, this is a true story, and they were able to raise millions of dollars. So that is Calendar Girls, and that's hosted by the Players Theater at the Owen Theater through Sunday, February 5th. Premiering Friday, February 10th, is In the Heights at the historic Crichton Theater, and it's a story of a vibrant community in New York's Washington Heights neighborhood on the brink of change, full of hopes, dreams, and pressures, where the biggest struggles can be deciding what traditions to take with you and which ones to leave behind. Get tickets for the Tony Award-winning musical at thecrichtontheater.org, and this is hosted by Stage Right of Texas. The 6th annual Lone Star Luau, and I'm not thinking luau today on this cold day, but, if you are, that is this Thursday through Sunday at Margaritaville Lake Conroe, and that is hosted by Texas singer-songwriter Tom Shepard with 20 top artists from across the country. You can get tickets at lonestarluau.com, Luau.com, luau. So, also, the Jazz Connection. If you haven't heard the Jazz Connection, you're missing out. These are mostly high school kids, some junior high age kids, and they are having a performance Saturday, February 11th at the Conroe Symphony Center, located at 1500 North Fraser in Conroe. And these kids are phenomenal. They have played for the Veterans Commission on Veterans Day, and they play in downtown Conroe on the day of the tree lighting. So if you have an opportunity, go by there a week from Saturday and go and listen to them, please. So Valentine's Day is coming up. If it's not on your mind, it should be, because, keep your marriage intact for 40 plus years with a special Valentine's dinner or entertainment or something like that. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to hear all about Precinct 2, Commissioner Charlie Riley, and things that are going on.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment, or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Team Sinisi is a proud sponsor of Conroe Culture News. Vinny Sinisi and his professional team provide comprehensive real estate services throughout the greater Montgomery County area and beyond. Whether looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Team Sinisi has an impeccable reputation. Contact Team Sinisi for a great experience at teamsinisi.com. That's TEAMSINISI.com.
And we are back. So guest today will be Commissioner Charlie Riley, Precinct 2, his Chief of Staff, Bruce Berger, and Silvio. He's a lieutenant over commercial vehicle enforcement. That's a long title.
Correct.
But you're also with the Constable's Department, right?
I'm with Precinct 5 Constable's Office, and I'm assigned to Charlie's office as the liaison.
Good. Okay. Well, we'll hear about your role here shortly. So, Charlie, let's talk about how you got involved with the county. And you're located at 19110 Unity Park Drive?
Yes.
In Magnolia. Nice, beautiful building over there, right by Unity Park.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been with the county in different roles?
First of all, Margie, thank you for having us here. We always enjoy coming and talking to you and visiting with you. I moved out here to Montgomery County in 1971. I was 14 years old, and I moved from the north side of Houston. And I think people have probably heard this story. 14 years old on the north side of Houston, I had a lot of friends. And I come out here kicking and screaming, not wanting to come, because I didn't want to leave my friends. But my mom and dad saw what was going on the north side of Houston, and I'm not trying to put the north side of Houston down. I love the place, still love it. But I had to get out of there, and he had to get us out of there. And that's the best thing that ever happened to me, was coming up here to Magnolia. I fell in love with Montgomery County the minute I got here. That doesn't mean I don't have friends in Houston. I still have a lot of friends in Houston, but I've got my roots here in Montgomery County. When somebody asks me where I'm from Montgomery County. I'm from Magnolia, Texas. That's what I've known most of my life.
Did y'all move on acreage?
No, ma'am. We moved into a home that was one of the former commissioner's homes on a little street called Melton Street. Had an acre and a half, and that was all it was. An old wood frame house. Loved the old wood frame house. I just loved that place. But we did have some acreage, but it was not in Montgomery County. So my dad ended up going up there when he retired. But like I say, I was involved. The minute I got here, I got involved with my high school, different things, ag, baseball, you name it. I got involved in a lot of stuff. But my dad had always been very community-minded in Houston, on the north side of Houston. He was a big member of the Lions Club over there and a bunch of other organizations, Masonic Lodge. And for my whole life, all I remember is helping people. You know, the Lions Club, the Masonic Lodge, all these people helping one another. And I remember my dad. He would always try to go for the underdog. I mean, I can remember guys wanting to play Little League Baseball that didn't have the money to sign up, or didn't have money to buy a glove, or didn't have any money to do hardly anything. And we didn't have a whole lot, I promise you. But somehow he would find a way to either get people to help, to get somebody to have enough money to join the league, get on the team, get a glove, or whatever we needed to do. So that always stuck in my mind.
Good values.
You have to try to do that for people, and that really hit home to me. So I just kept going. When I moved up here, I just kept going, and he kept doing some of the same things. He quit his job in Houston, went to work for Joe Carley, was the commissioner of Precinct 3 at the time. So he went to work for him, and I just hung around with these guys. You know, I went through high school, and I got out, and I went to work in the private sector, and was doing fairly well, but I just got to hang around with these guys. And then I got to hang around with Ed Chance when he worked with Ed Chance. And then I got to hang around with Malcolm Purvis. And I was always involved with these guys, anything they were doing. And when Malcolm Purvis passed away and they appointed Craig Doyle, you know, I knew Craig pretty well through Malcolm and through the county. And I was at one of Craig's functions one time, and he said something about needing, he still hadn't had a administrative assistant, what they called him in those days. And we just got to talking, and I ended up going to work for Craig. And I was there for 13 years as his precinct manager of operations. And when Craig decided he was going to run for county judge in 2014, I never dreamed. Number one, I never dreamed I'd be working for the county, number one, but I never dreamed that I would ever run for any kind of office. That just wasn't ever in the plans. But I knew if Craig ran, somebody was going to come in, and I may or may not have a job, but the job was not the most important thing. I just knew I wanted to continue doing what we were doing and doing what I thought we could do in the future. And so I ran in 2014, and I won, and was sworn in my first term in January of 2015. And I just got sworn into my third term this last January the 1st.
That's pretty big, third term.
Yes, it's pretty big. None of them have been easy, but we've always had the good fight. We come out on top.
Easy isn't always good.
No, you're right.
Because then you get complacent.
We're
And I know you're not hanging out just
certainly
getting
not
complacent. And we're going to hear all about how complacent you were in 2022. So not.
I promise you, if you haven't been over around Precinct 2, around Magnolia, around the west side of Magnolia, anywhere in Magnolia, 149, 1488 is just exploding. 1486 is just exploding. There's so much new commercial coming in, which is what we've needed in a long time. We've always needed more commercial development, and that's something we haven't had on the west side. But
colleges, grocery stores,
yes.
all hospitals, all kinds of things going on.
We got Lone Star College. We got
HEB.
HEB. We've got them all coming. A new park.
Bruce, what were you saying?
You said new park.
Okay.
We got a new
Yep.
park.
Finally got us a new 400-acre park.
So
Lots of
happening.
things, and,
Yeah.
and you got people here. These are part of your team. You have a bigger team than this. And Bruce, how long have you been with Charlie?
I've been working with Charlie for 4 years.
4
I
years.
just completed my 4th year. Yep.
Time moves on.
It just got so big, Margie. There's no way that I could handle the phones, the emails, the text messages.
I can't see you doing
There's
all
just
that.
no way. I mean, I tried to do it, and I tried to do it with one guy, and he was more of an outside guy, so he didn't really fit in. So I've known Bruce for a long time. Bruce had retired, and I went by his house one day and said, "Look, I need some help. And I think you're the guy that can help me out with the administrative part of this. I need to do what I need to do, but I can't get out and do what I need to do, being tied to the phone and the computer all the time." And
You got to get out and go talk to the people.
you have to get out in the
Yep.
in the precinct. You have to be. You can't just sit in that office. That's not going to work. So,
Well, and yours is a very outside type
yes,
job
yes.
that you play, because you tell everybody what your role is as a commissioner.
You know, what my job description says? I have to show up for commissioner's court.
That's all it
That's
says?
what it says.
Do you do that?
You have to show up to Commissioner's Court.
Okay.
You know, so
All right. So
But-
you do that, but then you do
You
the
know,
things you're supposed to do
you-
so that you can report on what's happening in precinct 2,
we
right?
are the administrative body of Montgomery County. We approve budgets, we approve contracts, we do all the administrative stuff. But that's one thing. But the main thing that I do, you have to maintain your precinct. You have to maintain the whole county. I make decisions on that court, not only for precinct 2, but if it's not good for precinct 2, it's not going to be good for Montgomery County. And
That's
if
right.
If
Because
it's
you have
good
to
for
have a
Montgomery County,
majority
it's got to be
that
good for
vote
all
for
of us.
things that make a difference in the county.
You can't just
It's the
do something
governance.
good for your precinct if it's not good for everybody. Because problems don't stop at precinct lines or city limits lines.
Well, you're on the
they're
court
everywhere.
with other commissioners.
Yes.
And the county judge.
So you have to
And
make decisions that's
you have
good
to
for
make,
everybody.
that is absolutely correct. So tell me about the boundaries. I know you're Magnolia, but it kind of tips into Montgomery, Conroe.
There's 282 square miles of precinct 2. And the easiest way to describe this, the boundaries, if you take Spring Creek from the Waller County line down to Spring Creek over to I-45, up to, well, not all of Spring Creek. I have all of the north side of the Woodlands. I have Alden Bridge, so there's a line that comes up from Spring Creek over to I-45. Everything on the west side of I-45 from Research Forest up to 1488. Then I jump across and take River Plantation in. Then I come back, go to the
kinda
loop,
crazy.
out to Montgomery County, out to
So it's
City of
part of
Montgomery.
Conroe. Mm-hmm.
Part of Conroe, part of Montgomery, all Magnolia, all the way down.
Part of the Woodlands, where
Part of the
Woodlands
Woodlands.
Parkway and all that.
and almost to Tombaugh, Shenandoah.
Shenandoah.
It's 282 square miles.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, over 900 miles of county roads.
So you work with some of the city municipalities.
All the time.
All of that.
All the time.
And even the small towns like Stagecoach.
Stagecoach, Magnolia, Decker Prairie, the community,
Pinehurst,
yeah, Pinehurst,
some of those.
all of those guys. We work with all those guys.
You know, from an administrative view, when I look at what they do, what he and Don, Silvio, and all the crews do, what really, in our conversation here today, yes, a large part of what we do is maintenance, but what I find amazing, because like I said, I've only been here 4 years, is it's all the planning that Charlie has to do. Where are things going to, where are the roads going to go? Where will they work the best?
Without a plan, you can't progress and you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, but you know, your plan is developed from a vision, and that's the thing that's amazing to me as a layperson coming into a road and bridge group is the vision that he's got. Because, and everyone knows I'm not the most complimentary person in the world, so I'm making an observation that I'll go into
You
meetings.
speak the truth.
It is the way it is, and people come to him. I've been in meetings where other municipalities come to him with issues with roads that seem. I look at it and I'm like, yeah, we're in a tough position. And give him a few minutes, and that's the amazing thing is he'll figure it out. And I've seen him do it numerous times. Not to get off the subject too far, but aren't you in that play at Owens Theater?
No. No, yeah, that was a little off the cuff. So I was in School of Rock, and then I had the role of the mother in Barefoot in the Park, which was a pretty big role.
Oh, those were the previous. What was there
Previously,
previously?
it ended
Okay, I was
November
just- you
6th.
kind of. I knew you were there.
I
and it-
honestly, the way my life was going, I needed a break for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all of that. So I will probably do it again because it was an interesting thing,
Well, that's
and
good. That's good.
it was a good experience.
Good for you.
So, one that I never thought I would do, but sometimes you break away and make a change, right?
That's
Good.
right.
So,
Good.
but thank you for
No doubt.
mentioning that.
Sure.
Yes. So, and then we have Silvio. And what is your role, Silvio?
I'm in charge of a commercial motor vehicle task force that basically we weigh trucks like 18-wheelers, the dump trucks and concrete trucks and, stuff like that to make sure, they come into the roadways and they're overweight, tearing up the county roads, which commissioner's in charge of fixing the roads and stuff. So we go into making sure these guys are within compliance and proper weight and, their equipment's all in working order and stuff like that. And I have two guys that work for me that do that on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want the trucks wrecking the roads that you just got taken
And
care
it happens
of.
all the time.
I know.
It
So
happens
do
all
the
the
other precincts have a Silvio?
We have precinct 2 constable's office has two units that is a part of the program, and they're assigned to Commissioner Walker's office right now. And this project is about 2 years in, so it's still kind of in the infancy stages, and we're looking to grow the program more with some other regulations and enforcement that we're able to do, but we have to get certified through the federal level through the state.
And then this is specified through Commissioner's Court that you can.
We have to be
Do this?
We have to be named through Commissioner's Court as enforcement officers before the state will allow us to go to training. So yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Was this something that was your creation?
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
that's nice.
Again, when you look around at all the development and you look around to all the commercial vehicles that are on the road, and we're not trying to put anybody out of business. We're not trying to punish anybody. We just want compliance. We don't want 80,000 pounds dump trucks running down our 30,000 pound weight limit roads, and we don't want material falling off, and we don't want it breaking windshields, and we don't want to have to sweep up roads. We don't want to do any of that.
Well, bottom line, it's the care of the people.
Take care of, yes,
Right?
That's right. Take care of what you're supposed
Your
to do.
residents,
do it right.
your businesses that are in your area.
You can make a living. We're not trying to do that, but if you continue doing what you're doing, you're going to be fined, and we've written some pretty substantial fines. But if you go through precinct 2 and you look at the dump trucks and the concrete trucks and the commercial vehicles, they're a whole lot cleaner than where they are anywhere else right now. I can promise you.
And to point it out, Charlie's been gracious enough that, yes, they have gone and worked in other places in the county that's not our precinct because other people needed help. And it's Mike Silvio. Silvio and his group are actually certified through the DPS and our memo of understanding is through Commissioner Riley and
Right.
one of Mike's guys through the DPS. So yes, Mike has sent his troops out to other
Y'all
precincts.
partner with other projects, and I know in the past, it seems like it's longer than it probably is. Well, I don't know. It was at least a couple years ago that you worked together with Walker, and I'm not sure, was it Metz, on the project for the parking lot for Meals on Wheels?
Oh yes, it was.
I mean, that was a partnership.
That was me and Robert Walker. Yes.
Right,
yes.
right, to get it done.
Yes.
And so you do lots of projects.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know you were working on a project in the hospital area, in 242
Yes,
area.
yes.
It's precinct 4, right?
Me and
Metz
me and
at the
Commissioner
time?
Metz at the time
Yeah.
had funded the third direct connect from northbound 45 to eastbound 242
For the safety of people.
for the
And
good
to
of
help,
all.
Well, to help
Yeah.
traffic control getting to the hospitals.
Well, again,
too.
and I sat in a number of meetings with all of the hospital directors in that area, and you hear the same story. We can't get there. We can't get to this hospital. We can't get here in an emergency. But the lady from Texas Children looked at me and said, "When your kid gets sick, what do you do?" Well, I pick my kid up and throw him in the car, and I take off. Mm-hmm. And then she said, "But you can't get here. You don't have sirens. You don't have horns. You don't have you're not getting through the traffic. The ambulances are going to get through sooner or later, but you're not." And that'll shake you up. So you
true.
don't ever want that to happen. So that's when me and Metz, I talked to Metz. I said, "We got to do something. It's not my precinct. It's your precinct. But we have got to figure out a way to do this." So we came up with the funds between me and him, and we figured out
Sure.
a way to make this happen.
And that's the way
and
you
it's
do
under,
things in our
It's under
county.
design now.
Is to share.
Nothing moves fast, though. Nothing. Nothing
But
moves
you
fast
have to
enough.
start the
Yes.
process.
Yes.
If you don't start it, it doesn't
Yes.
happen.
And it requires a vision. And I'm back to
Absolutely.
that again. He doesn't live in this bubble and he doesn't live in the shell. And it makes the people who work, like me and him, who work for him, it makes it easier for us because he's got a bigger vision. So I don't have to listen to people say, why can't the county do something about getting people off of the feeder streets by the hospital? I mean, I can take pride. It wasn't our precinct, but he went in there. This is the problem. He told them how to solve the problem. And then, of course, to my chagrin at first, he said, find the money and make sure this happens out of our budget. But that's a man with a vision. So
Well, passion too, passion and caring, and that's really who you are. Don't let the cowboy hat fool you. I mean, this guy cares about the community. So I think we're going to take a quick break and then come back and talk a little bit more about Precinct 2 area. Sound good? All right.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Team Sinisi is a proud sponsor of Conroe Culture News. Vinny Sinisi and his professional team provide comprehensive real estate services throughout the greater Montgomery County area and beyond. Whether looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Team Sinisi has an impeccable reputation. Contact Team Sinisi for a great experience at teamsinisi.com. That's TEAMSINISI.com.
We are back. We are talking with Commissioner Charlie Riley, Precinct 2, Bruce Berger, Chief of Staff, and Michael Silvio, Lieutenant over Commercial Vehicle Enforcement, whole mouthful, and he works with Constable's Office, Constable
Jones.
Chris Jones, yes. Is that Precinct 5?
Precinct 5.
Precinct 5. So anyway, we're continuing on. So there were a lot of work orders done in 2022. I don't know how many you were supposed to do, but I know you did 2296.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Well, our guys are overachievers, and they have they've grasped onto our culture as well. It's take care of the people. So that's what we're service orientated. You can't work for this guy and not be service orientated. If you're not, you're going to get
That means
there.
hustling. How
It
many
does.
people work there in the office?
53, I think.
Total.
Well, not in the office per se.
Yeah,
but
it's total, including the office workers, all our admin, people like me. 53. So you can imagine the
It's
people
a lot.
who really do.
So your work crew,
That-
you got
that-
a lot
that-
that's out on the roads.
We don't have a lot that's out on the road. We got people in community buildings. We got recycling we got to account for, sports fields, administrative staff. We do a lot with 53 people.
So tell me about some of the projects that you were able to complete.
We just finished a huge remodeling of our community center, as well as updating the building, offering more services and updated services to the seniors and to the community right now. And I'll let him speak to it because I don't physically get involved with it, but he's rehabbing a lot of our park. We have a beautiful sports park that he's built in Magnolia. And I know that they were redoing fields and nets. The security and safety net system was a big deal.
We built we've built 2 new fields in 2022 out of our own budget. We don't have a parks bond money. We have to figure out a way to make this happen. And again, our community is growing so fast and so big, we just don't have room for all these activities that these young folks want to do. Like softball, we had to build a new softball field. We built a new t-ball field.
Is this all at Unity Park?
No, this is all on 1774 down at the Magnolia Sports Association.
Okay.
And when you do all that, you're just cramming stuff closer and closer and closer and redoing things. And then, and this sounds trivia, but foul balls and wild balls and footballs and you name it, lacrosse, everything. So we had to put up big nets to protect folks from that now. We building a new concession stand over there for the girls softball right now. Like I said, built a new t-ball field, put up all the sports, all the nets. We made it all. We poured new sidewalks for disabled folks. They don't have to try to push a wheelchair through the grass. Now we got sidewalks they can get
I
from
bet a
one
lot of
field
people
to.
don't think about that.
They don't. Now that we've got it where they can get around, so much easier. And we didn't think about it. I mean, we're playing sports, and we don't think about that. But once it's brought to your attention, you start looking around. You know what? It's not very easy to get around here. So we've
Over
we've,
gravel and
we've
dirt
fixed
and
that.
all of that, yeah.
Yes. So we've improved
Quite
that.
challenging,
Yeah.
sure.
And about 2 years ago, when Charlie was looking at the park, the existing park, and where we had things placed, and he knew with our population growth, we were definitely going to need to put more facilities in the park. He started working with Johnson Development Company, and the last days of December of 2021, Charlie closed on just under 400 acres of what will be a new park for our community. And I will tell you that the interest in people wanting to be part of that, that's what we've had to control the most. Everyone wants to, all the colleges, the school district, everyone wants to be a part of this new exciting park that Charlie got us.
And that's over at Wood Forest, right?
It
Over in
is.
that community?
Yeah.
Montgomery
On the west side of
Trace,
Fish
right
Creek.
over
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Beautiful land, and we'll be kicking
familiar with
the
that
first
area.
meeting off probably in the next month, I would think. But yeah, that was a huge gift that he got us.
No, it's fantastic, because I know in that area, Wood Forest alone, they now have like 11,000 people that live in that community, and when we moved there, it was 7,000.
I think we're closer to 15,000.
I think
It's
we are
just,
It's
I
unbelievable.
think it's the largest community in Montgomery County.
I don't know about the largest community, but it's one of the prettiest communities.
It's very
and
nice.
the drive from 1488 to 105 now, one of the prettiest drives
Well,
in Montgomery County.
and then the whole expansion that you did
With
there,
Completing the 4 lanes. It's a sure enough.
that was huge.
4-lane, a bridge over Lake Creek and another overpass over 2854. And
Yeah,
it's
Fish Creek.
It's great.
Wasn't easy.
No.
Took a little while.
I did.
First bridge
As
project I
everything.
got to be part of. That was very exciting
Yeah,
for me.
but it's smooth sailing now.
Yes,
Well,
it
he
is.
followed up
So-
with another one right up there at McCaleb, so it made it a complete system, which I thought was really that was so smart the way they did it, so that when they were done with the second bridge, now you've got this beautiful thoroughfare. It just
It
goes
is nice.
right up to the lake. It's gorgeous. I
And
agree
it's
with
a
him.
huge area of development. A lot of people are moving out that way.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. So, yeah, you've done many projects. I was trying to look and see them all, but there was just so many road
And
projects.
I can't remember all of them right now. I know
Yeah,
the
I
major
know.
projects that we are trying to work on right now is our Wood Trace Boulevard from 2978 over to 249. Our other 3 major projects that we're looking at is the Magnolia Relief Route that we've been working on for
Mobility.
forever, seems like. A partial relief route around Magnolia, and then the 149 extension from Jackson Road over to 249. And then the other one that's kind of further out than these that we're talking about is the Keenan Cutoff extension from 149 and Keenan Cutoff over to 249. All of those will just help traffic and help congestion tremendously. And most of this congestion is in and around the Magnolia area.
I know that the 1488 is kind of a
1488 and
very
1774.
challenging area.
1488.
Everywhere on 1488.
Yes,
It doesn't matter where.
1488 and 1774 is the worst intersection in the, if not the
I will do
state.
anything to avoid going on 1488,
Yes.
looking especially at what time of day it is.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Well, I know, but
it
you know,
used
if I need to go back
used
way,
to
or-
you could pick your times that you could go 1488. Nowadays, it's just not that way.
it's challenging.
But if we can get the relief route around Magnolia, the survey that we've done 15 years ago still holds true today. 70% of the people going through that intersection don't want to go through that intersection. They want to go around. They're going to Waller, or they're going to Plantersville, or they're going to Houston. They're going anywhere, or they're going to Conroe. But you have to go through that intersection to get to any of those places. This relief route will keep people out, and I'm not trying to
And where's the relief route going to go?
It's
How's it
go-
going to work?
It comes off of the toll road, the 249 toll road.
Mm-hmm.
If you're headed, I guess that's north, and then it will turn northwest and go right behind Magnolia West High School.
Mm-hmm.
It'll cross over 1774 and the Union Pacific Railroad right there by where the new college is, Lone Star College is going, and then it ties back into 1488 out at Abney Lane. So it's a partial loop. It's not a complete loop, but it's a loop that'll work.
And what about going into Conroe from 1488? Isn't there something off of Old Conroe Road or something that's going to be happening?
Yes, Conroe Road is in the works, and that's I don't know how soon that will be able to be done. I know the city of Conroe is trying to push that project with HGAC and TxDOT.
Because that's the challenge too, is getting that connection. There
From
there needs to be a
1488
workaround.
from 1488 over to Sergeant Ed Holcomb
Instead of having to go to
It's terrible.
McCaleb Road or something.
yes.
You know?
But they've got challenges. They've got to cross the San Jacinto River and Lake Creek with the bridge, and that's going to be challenging.
About a mile long.
Very, very challenging. Costly. And I've agreed that I will participate with the city of Conroe, which took that project over, and I'm so glad they did. I will participate with part of the construction cost and part of their matching funds.
So when you do things like that, not only do you have to work with Precinct 1 Commissioner Walker, but don't you have to work with the city as well? I mean,
yes.
who are all the participants in this? Is this, these
Th-
are,
this long this
how does that work?
Conroe Road is an agreement between Montgomery County Precinct 2, HGAC,
Yeah.
and TxDOT, and the city of Conroe.
That's what I thought. There's a lot of
it's all-
people
it's all a lot of
involved
moving
that all
parts.
have to be in communication.
Yes, and we have to
And in agreement.
all the time, and we
Yes,
have to
that's
agree
true.
on it and make this happen. And it's not easy.
It isn't just a Charlie Riley
no,
thing.
no. It's all of us trying to get this done, and it needs to be done. It needs to be done now. It needs to be sooner than later. So we're all pushing that. Again, do I have that kind of money just to throw at the city of Conroe? No, I don't.
Nobody has money to
And I don't
just
have
throw
any kind of
anywhere.
money to throw at anybody. But
That's what I mean.
but you have to, if you see that you can spend this money and improve for the whole county, that's what you need to be doing. And you can help the city, you can help Precinct 1, you can help Precinct 2.
all about vision.
That's right.
Like Bruce keeps coming back
so-
to. You got to have that forward vision to plan ahead so that you can prepare.
And we got to have forward vision.
We're
too.
only going to get larger, right?
And we're going to have to start talking about a road bond. I know that just makes people kind of cringe sometimes,
Lord.
but we cannot continue doing what we're doing now.
When do you think that conversation will start?
The conversation has somewhat started. It hasn't been officially started, but it's got to get started pretty soon. And I would hope that by this November we would have something ready to go as far as a road bond. And I know people are going to say, "Hey, the interest rates are high. This is going on," and it's just not going to get any better. We need to do something now. We got to start getting prepared for what's coming, and I want to be ahead of something one time, and I don't know how to do that because it's too late. We're too late now, but you got to try to figure out a way to make things happen. And road bond is the only way we're going to make anything happen on roads around here.
Well, and the thing with road bonds or for any kind of activity like that, you raise the money, and then when it's complete, even with toll roads, when it's complete, you take away the toll, right? I
Well,
mean,
you still have to
depending, you have to do maintenance.
You still have to maintain.
So, I mean, isn't that kind of what happened or is happening with 242?
Well, no, listen, 242 was just a whole complete different. Let's face it, that was an agreement they made through the pass-through tolls back in 2004. You know, they agreed that they would toll these two direct connects to fund the third one. Well, let's be honest. If you're going to charge somebody 25 cents per car for an exit off an on ramp, when are you going to make up $14 million to build that third direct connect? You're not. You're never going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Never. So you took these tolls and you paid off what you spent the rest of the bond, the pass-through bond, so there was no reason to keep the tolls on there. My concern all along, and I said it over and over and over in court when everybody was trying to get the tolls taken off, we've had an agreement with TxDOT If we don't do what the TxDOT says, we're going to break this agreement. So I had to make sure for the almost 18 months that working with TxDOT, if we remove the tolls off here, would TxDOT agree to maintain these two direct connects? And after almost 18 months, we come to an agreement that if we would do certain things that needed to be done right then, and it was just minor stuff, some paint and some minor concrete work, that we would do that, TxDOT would take over the maintenance of the two flyovers. So when they agree to do that, let's take the tolls off, because we're done. And then we come up with money from other toll money to
It's a whole process.
to do the other third direct connect. So that's how that went down.
And you also have to really, I mean, from a just a practical standpoint, the majority of the people that currently are using the 249 toll road are not from this county. So you now are in a position where people from outside the county are funding our road construction. And I'm not in a rush to end that anytime soon. I think that's the best way to go. Not to mention, the tolls are only paid if you use the toll road. You're not paying for the toll road if you're not using it, but you do get the advantage of.
It's true.
Well, part of the deal was, Charlie, the feeder streets are 2 and 3 lane. That used to be a 2-lane road, and now it's 2 or 3 lanes. So we actually got a count the other day of how many people are actually using the feeder streets on the toll road, and it's a huge number because of the convenience factor that's just been added to the community by having a toll road there. They're not paying for the toll road. Other people are,
Right.
but they're getting the convenience factor of it.
No,
so
that's
that'd be a
absolutely
tough
right.
one to walk
Yeah.
away from.
So, focusing on other things you've accomplished, what is this about a lower tax rate?
What about it?
No, I saw that you were able to do that.
We have
bring
done
a
that.
lower
We
tax rate.
have done the no new revenue rate twice or 3 times. Once we went below the no new revenue rate, and the last 2 budget cycles we went no new revenue rate or between no new revenue rate and the voter approval rate. You know, that's all good, but a county that is growing as fast as we are and as big as we're getting,
There's going to be some costs.
there's going to be some costs, and I'm afraid it's fixing to catch up with us in the next couple of years.
Because it is
It's
growing
already kinda-
tremendously fast.
It's already kind of caught up with me and my budget for trying to maintain the roads that we've got. So we're going to have
which
to
comes
look.
back to you, too.
We're going to
It's a
have to
circle
look
here.
at. We're going to have to look at sooner or later, maybe not going to the no new revenue rate, maybe slightly higher, but we can't keep doing that and expect to provide the services we're providing now. Either we're going to have to start cutting services, or we're going to have to look at our budget, our tax rate.
I remember back 10 years ago, our population in Montgomery County was 450,000. What is it right now? It's over 6 million,
They
right?
say
No,
they
it's
say it's
600.
680,000.
680. That's a huge growth.
But I think
How
it's
many
over
people
700.
are in your community that you serve?
About 163,000. I say we got over 700,000 people here easy.
It's a lot.
Well, you know, going to the no new revenue rate, that absolutely works in most circumstances. We're not most circumstances. We are one of the fastest growing counties in the United States, not just Texas, the United States. And that's where it becomes a real challenge because, sure, if you're just doing maintenance of existing, you could probably get away with it for a while. The problem comes in that we're adding, always
Right.
adding. And we have to. It's required.
Depending on who you talk to, we're either the 2nd or the 6th fastest growing county in the country right
Still
now.
a big number.
It don't. It's
It doesn't
2nd
matter.
or 6th. It don't.
Whatever. Yeah,
It don't
it's huge, and people are coming here not just from Texas, but from all over. The economy's good.
I'm sure you've noticed all the out-of-state plates that you're seeing on the roads, almost like the 80s with Michigan.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to take a quick break and then come into our final segment and hear more about what is in the future for 2023 with Precinct 2.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Team Sinisi is a proud sponsor of Conroe Culture News. Vinny Sinisi and his professional team provide comprehensive real estate services throughout the greater Montgomery County area and beyond. Whether looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Team Sinisi has an impeccable reputation. Contact Team Sinisi for a great experience at teamsinisi.com. That's TEAMSINISI.com.
And we are back. Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News, FM 104.5, 106.1, live streaming irlonestar.com in downtown Conroe at City Hall. And we are here with Commissioner Charlie Riley, Precinct 2, Chief of Staff Bruce Berger, and Michael Silvio, Lieutenant over Commercial Vehicle Enforcement, and he is with Constable's Office Precinct 5. So we're learning not just what's happening in the Magnolia Precinct 2 area, but our community as a whole, because the commissioners work as a team together to make our area better where we live. One of the fastest growing counties in the country, whether it's first, second, fifth, sixth, it doesn't matter. It is huge, and we're growing all the time. So, lots of things coming forward in 2023, right, Charlie?
One thing we didn't talk about in 2022, we were able to get our new forensic center.
I had that on my list. I was going to mention.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's
built
good.
and open, and I'm telling you, a beautiful
And that's for
facility.
the county.
Yes. That was a project that I took on, 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when people said it couldn't be done. We didn't need this, we didn't need that, but we couldn't continue having our forensic center in the building it was in. Sooner or later, it was not going to make...
was that over by the jail?
Over there
was
cross street from
Yeah.
the jail. Sooner or later, it was not going to pass all the requirements. And, people didn't want to spend the money to do the new forensic center until we start talking about what we need to do, what we were up against, how many people that we weren't being able to take care of. And then COVID hits, and then the next thing I know, we're trying to figure out how to get refrigerated trailers here, and this or use services somewhere else, and that's just not the way a county this size needs to operate. So we went to work putting all this together, had meetings over 2 years with the people that needed to be involved, the people that knew how to build forensic center, had done it before, the architects, the engineers, the people that designed these things. And we were able to do this for, I think it was $11.3 million is what we ended up spending on this building. And it takes care of the needs now. There's room to grow.
Is it over there off by the railroad tracks?
It's over by the airport, across from the fairgrounds.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
He's being modest too, because when he says that we got it built for 11.2, when we got involved in that project and I was sitting with Charlie, the estimate was close to 18 million. So he saved a ton of money, and part of it was because he insisted that we not slow down during COVID, keep working on the project, and then by the time it was ready to let, we were in the middle of COVID. Contractors were wanting to assure that they had work to move forward. Charlie took advantage of that situation, and literally we saved, it was estimated it was going to be $18 million, and it came in at 11.2.
Excellent.
That's very excellent.
Oh, yeah. Do we have a county medical examiner?
We have a I don't even know what she's called.
Forensics
Is
director.
she a medical examiner? I don't know if she's.
She's not a medical examiner.
I didn't think we did, is why I'm
It's Dr.
asking.
Paneri. I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
think we don't have a medical examiner. We don't even.
How come we don't?
Well, you have to reach a certain population. Then I think
Oh.
you have to.
2 million, I think.
I think it's 2 million that you have to get to. Is it 1 million or
I
2?
thought it was 1 million, but it could be
I think
2.
they've changed it. I don't know, Margie.
I don't know either.
but
I'm just
we can
asking.
find out.
You want to be impressed?
but-
look up Dr. Praneri.
But
Okay, okay.
once you get to a certain population, you can or you have to go to a medical examination
Okay.
examiner's program. Right,
All right.
now, we still have the 5 JPs and
Right,
forensic
so
center.
if they need one, they send
Yes.
out
Yes.
for information.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And she does great with other counties. We're doing some things from other counties, and we made sure in this process when we were going through all this that if we were sending out stuff to other counties or other agencies, DPS or Houston Forensic or whoever, if we could figure out a way to keep it here and do it ourselves, we made sure that they were able to do that in this building.
Of course.
Now, not
Yeah,
all of
that's
it's
great.
that way, but we've got a lot of stuff in house now that they were not able to do at the old building. They had to resource it out, and that makes a world of difference too.
Of course it does.
It's so much better if you can keep it
You
all.
don't want to go out into Houston or
No.
anywhere else if you don't have to.
No.
Well, really, where it
No.
shows is the success rate out of prosecuting people who the evidence is against. So if it's processed locally with Dr. Praneri, they're more assured of the quality of what's being done. So the DA can then process it
And it's shorter term too, isn't it?
Probably, but
Probably
the assurance of what they're dealing with when they're trying to prosecute someone from a crime. And I don't want to speak too much. Mike could probably do a better job.
I think
than
it's
can.
less hands-on evidence or less moving
How
it
does that
around would be
I mean, it does.
part
I mean,
of it.
just there's certain evidence that has to go to DPS. There's certain evidence that has to go elsewhere. But yeah, for the most part, if we can handle it in house, like you said, then that's that's definitely better for the county.
Well, it sounds like it would go faster as far as a trial too, if you don't have to send out and kind of keep it more internal. I don't know.
I'm sure she could answer those questions if you want.
We'll just have to have her come on the radio show,
She'll
right?
probably be
We'll
very
have to
nice.
do
That
that.
might
That
be
could be
something to
very
do.
knowledgeable.
I guarantee it would be.
Okay. All right. So what else is on the horizon
So
for you?
probably the main thing in 2023 that we'll be working on is some of these road projects that we talked about, Wood Trace, 149, the relief route, and our new park. That's going to be our major focus. Is going to be trying to get the new park up and running. We're going to have a lot of stakeholder meetings and a lot of committee meetings. That we formed our advisory committee or our advisory board, and they're going to meet first week or two in February. So once they get going, we've already hired a design team, and they've already got a couple of concepts drawn up that look fantastic to me. I'd just stop right now and start building it if it was me, but that's me. There's a lot of people that want to talk to us about different things in the park. Olympic swimming is wanting to talk to us. So we got people coming from everywhere wanting to see
Yeah, a lot of exciting
if they can.
things.
It's going to
coming
be very
forward.
exciting. Yes.
So what are you most passionate about?
Oh, I
What
don't
gets
know.
you very excited? I can see when you're talking that certain things do.
Anything that I can do to make it just a little bit better. I don't care if it's the park, if it's a road, if it's cleaning up something, helping somebody. All of it I'm passionate about all of it. I love what I do. 99% of the time. Now there's that 1% of the time
Right.
I get up and say, why in the world am I doing this?
Probably, especially during election times and things like that.
Can I tell you what I see as an observer that
Yes.
he's passionate about? And comes up in that 91% of 1% that he's not thrilled about is he's passionate about applying common sense to the problems we deal with. And you don't ever tell him we do it because that's how we did it. He's passionate about applying common sense to the problems we deal with daily. And it works.
And he's very caring about individuals. It's not about the project necessarily. It's about how it's affecting people.
Yes.
Personally. And I know you care about veterans.
No doubt.
you have a heart for that.
You've heard me
It's
say
in your blood.
You've heard me say many a time, Margie. Every day ought to be Veterans Day. I've said it and said it and said it.
You care about veterans, you care about seniors, you care about kids, you care about all the vulnerable populations. And it's not just mouthing it. You actually get out and get involved.
We do get involved. Yes.
So that's the part that people may not always see, but I see it. I know Deanne sees it. And a lot of people that you work with see it. Because you have maybe a little more gruff exterior, but you are not gruff.
No way. No way.
You're
He has his moments.
I'm sure you can be. We all do. But you are a very kind person and you care about this community. And congratulations on your third term.
Thank you very much.
So one quick thing, because we have to wrap this up. People can Google you, and you have your page on Facebook. Just Google Charlie Riley Precinct 2. And you also have a website. It's commprecinct2.org. But you can also go to mctx.org and find you too.
That's right.
So
Yes, ma'am.
that's a wrap for today. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show.
Thanks
Stay
for having
warm, and
us.
we'll see what tomorrow's weather brings us.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much. Thank
Margie.
you.